Here we go. All right, so you guys get a little thing that says it's recording?
Yeah, it says we have to consent.
All right, go ahead and consent, everyone. You're mine now. All your personal data, your blue-faced Amir, you're in my Zoom world now. All right, so here we go, back to sharing the document. All right, so on this last one here, it's the same question that we've done twice, but we're going to do a third method of finding lines of best fit. Okay, because with lines of best fit, there's lots of possible lines that are reasonable. And so we have to try and use the data points to help support our reasoning. And so what this one's called is, I call it like the best fit line with quartiles. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at our data points and we're going to find quartile 1 and quartile 3, because roughly quartile 1 will be somewhere here and quartile 3 will be roughly somewhere here. From that, we can get our slope. So the quartiles will give us our slope. And then we're going to get the point x bar, y bar again. And we'll put it through that line with the slope from the quartiles. And so it uses all the data in clever ways to come up with our line of best fit. So the first step that it is asking us for, when we look at the steps that I've written out for us, says determine quartile 1 and quartile 3 of the x values. So looking at these numbers, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we need quartile 1. Could you take a moment and see if you can find or determine what quartile 1 is for the x values, for all of these x values here, the year. Okay. Here tomorrow, have you got an idea which one's going to be quartile 1, or how do we find it?
I was thinking about like splitting it in the middle, even though
Okay.
it's not going to be like it's going to be like there's going to be one more on the upper quartile. Like so I took it I stopped at 5, and then so from the year 2005 until 2009 is
Okay.
the lower one.
Super.
And then from 2010 until 2015 it's the higher one.
Right. So here is, as you said, the lower one works there. And then here is the upper one here, right? And so
Yeah.
with it though, we should include the median for both of them though. Okay, so we'll include that 6 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if we include the median here, oh, no, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself. I'm doing too many things in my head here. Here's the lower half and the upper half. From this lower half of numbers, which one then is going to be the median or the lower quartile?
2007.
Right. And so its corresponding y value is also part of that. When I go to the upper part, Kirill, what's the median going to be, or the upper quartile going to be?
Can you give me a second? I need to in my calculator.
Oh no, just look at it. You can count them.
Oh, 21,500.
Yeah. And the x value that corresponds with that was what year?
2013.
Right. Did you say 13 or 14?
13.
13. Yeah. So this value here, that point there is Q3. Q1 and Q3. Now, from those 2 points, right? So we have our x value, we have our y values. We can determine the slope.
By adding them,
Right.
you can add like the two numbers.
I don't know if adding is the right word, but I think you want to use those points to
Yeah.
find the
if you-
slope. What am I going to do? Hansa, how am I going to find the slope if I have Q1 and Q3?
You have to divide them into y1, y2, and x1, x.
Super. Which one is what? What do you want to call which one? And which one would you like to call which value there, Hansa?
What did you say?
Which one would you like to call x1, x2, and y1 and y2 and all those?
X2 would be 2013,
Okay,
and x1 would be 2007,
nice.
and y1 would be 1,500,
Right. And
and y2 would be the other.
the other one. Okay, super. So we know the formula is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Or we could make this 1 and 2, doesn't matter as long as we're consistent. So plugging values in. Amir, could you tell me what values am I going to plug into the
2007 as x1.
Okay, is that going to go in the top or the bottom though?
The bottom.
All right, so 2007, yep.
And then for x2,
Uh-huh.
well minus
Super,
2013.
great. And what goes up top?
Y1 is 15,000 and y2 minus 21,500.
Super, nice. 1,500. When we throw that into our calculator, what do we get? What'd you get, Charlotte? Charlotte, did you get those?
Yes, I got an answer.
What'd you get?
I got 12,976.28749.
Okay, 12,000. So 12976.2.
Yeah, or 6.3.
0.3. Okay. Everyone agree with that? Hansa, did you get that?
I got 1,083.3.
Okay, maybe I did something wrong.
Well, maybe Hansa did. One of you, or maybe you both.
I'll put it in again. Okay, so here we have 15,000.
I got 10. I got what Hans I got, the 10,803.
21500 divided by 2007
Open parenthesis.
minus.
Did you put parentheses on the top part?
Let me try that again.
So
0 minus 21500. Okay, divided by 2 minus 2 0. Okay, yeah, now I got 1,083.33333.
sweet. And you put parentheses
Yeah.
that time? Right. All right. So we have, this is our slope. Next step says to find the average, to calculate oh, I needed to take that line out. We need to calculate the average x bar, y bar of the two. Now, we could calculate it all with our calculator put it in, or we can use the spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet.
Let's use the spreadsheet.
Yeah, let's go. Spreadsheet for the win.
Spreadsheet for the win.
I agree. Spreadsheet for the win.
So now the question is, do you remember how to ask for it?
Yes, you have to click equal,
Equal.
like the equal sign, and then you have to write average.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. Then you have to take all of those numbers that you want, like highlight them, and then click enter. Yeah.
Super. Now there's another trick I can do. Watch this trick here really carefully. See how there's like a kind of square there in the bottom right-hand corner? And if I take my cursor and I put it right on top of it, see how it changed to a plus sign?
It's gonna give you also like, what?
And if I take it, I'm gonna drag it over here.
It's gonna give you the average for the second one.
It's gonna do the average for the second one here. It did the average of the second one. Let me try and get my decimal places normal. Okay, so there is my x bar, y bar. So I know my slope is 1083.3, and my x bar, y bar is 2010, comma 17364. So now that we have a slope and a point, we have the tools to find the equation of the
Solve it.
line. All right. Rebecca, how do I find the equation of the line?
To find the equation of the line, we need to take the we have to okay, I understand. Okay, so we need to replace the we need to substitute the y and the x.
Tell me what to write and I'll write it.
Yeah, okay, so we take the 17,364 as y is equal to 1083.3, and then in parentheses we put 2010, closing parentheses plus b, and then we just solve for it. So we do 1083.3 times 2010, which my calculator isn't here with me right now, so I'm trying to do it on my phone.
I've got it. 433 plus b. Now that I have this, how do I get b? Kirill, what do I do to get b at this point?
I don't know.
Go ahead, Kirill.
Not 100% sure because I can never remember this part.
Okay, super. That's called an opportunity. So if I had 7 is equal to 5 plus b, right? I think you could look at that. Let me write it neater. You could look at that and tell me what the answer is.
Yeah, will be equals to.
Right, easy, right? Easy.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get rid of the 5, right? To find what b is going to be. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Because as opposed to adding the 5, I'm going to subtract it away. And so now I get, this is gone, so b is equal to 7 minus 5 is 2. So there's an algebraic method to come up with the 2. When our numbers, like this, you could just see it, right?
Yeah.
But when the numbers are crazy, then you can't just see it. You have to have technique. And so you're going to subtract, get rid of that by subtracting it. So
if we scroll back up, you need to subtract, what was that, 2,177,433.
well done. I don't think I could name that number without doing some really serious thinking.
Oh,
Well done. So then B, if I 1, 7, 3, 6, 4 minus 2, 1, 7, 7, 4, 3, 3 gives negative 2, 1, 6, 0, 0, 6, 9. And so if we put it all together, I want my equation. My slope was 1083.3 x minus 2160069 is my equation. Okay, and the last step says, which I've been forgetting all along, rewrite your equation using variables that make sense for the problem. Well, here my variables are years and profits. What should we use as opposed to x and y? What should we use? Any suggestions? Tomorrow, what would you like to use for variables?
Like letters,
Yeah.
maybe like O and R.
So why would you choose O and R?
I have no idea. It's very
Okay.
random.
All right. So I'm going to recommend we use P because that stands for profit.
Oh, and Y for you.
Why? But I'm going to actually choose T for time.
Okay.
Because usually we know how this is X and Y, which we're not going to use. If I call this one Y, it's going to be confusing to which one. So I'm
Yeah.
going to call it T for time.
Okay.
So I get P is equal to 1083.3 T minus 2160069. And there is our equation of the line. So this method uses the idea of the quartile 1 and quartile 3 to get the slope. And then it does x bar, y bar to get the point you need. Any questions? Charlotte?
What do you think is the best way to find the line of best fit? What's the best way to do it? What do you do it all the time that you think is the easiest or the fastest or the most non-confusing?
Right. So that's a hard question. And I pause on because it's a hard question to answer, because when I do it, I do multiple things. And then I look and see which one I think is best based upon what I see.
Okay, so what you're saying is you look at the question and whatever way to find the line of best fit you think fits the question, you do?
Right. Or I will actually, like when I'm doing this, I will actually do them all the ways. And then
Okay.
based upon what I see, and there's a couple other statistical calculations that I'm not going to, you'll learn in a few years that I do as well. But at
So
this
you don't have
point,
a favorite?
if I was you guys, I would do them all
Okay.
and then decide which one I think is the best representation of the data.
Okay.
Right? Because if I had a line that went like this pink line, that would be pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I would look at, or even if I had that pink line, that's pretty bad too. So I would want to choose one that was going to be somewhere in there.
Okay.
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 There's not one absolute answer.
Okay.
All right. So I am now going to put you into breakout room so we can chit chat about these things. And I'm going to stop recording because I got the gist